Welcome to the Prophecy Club. Every once in a while, it's actually a good thing that something was said a while back. It tends to prove it even more. Such is the case with 3 out of the 4 DVDs, well, really actually 4 of the DVDs that we're about to offer today. And I think this is an awesome offer. Matter of fact, many of the things that Prophecy Club has carried have really been ahead of their time, and many other ministries still haven't caught up. So here's what we're going to do today. Got 4 DVDs we're going to be offering. First one, made in 2005, James Linzey. Now, this is not Lindsey Williams. This is Major James Linzey, a retired former U.S. Army officer and chaplain. Made a DVD in 2005, How Illegal Immigration is Destroying America. He exposes how satanic forces in the U.S. government allow illegal immigration, giving access to terrorists to invade America, and a lot more. I'm just reading the first line or two here. Then, in 2005 also, he made another DVD called How World Bankers Are Destroying America. He talks about how world bankers are actually forming a global bank and all of the controls that they have already implemented and then some they're working toward. Now listen to some of the topics he covers here. Federal Reserve Corporation, how the Feds enslaved nations. What is the Federal Reserve? You don't hear this most places. Monetary system, problems with the Federal Reserve System, understanding the Federal Reserve System, levels of the Federal Reserve, various things we really need to know. Then, in 1999, Secrets of the Illuminati. Great radio producer for many years. Used to do it, believe it or not, I still don't even know how, a 5-hour-a-day radio program for different years. We're talking about Dr. Stan Monteith, which now, of course, has gone home to be with the Lord. 37 years he spent researching the Illuminati. One of the experts. Very, very credible. He is one of the world's leading authorities on Professor Carroll Quigley, President Clinton's mentor, and many others I might also add. He talks about, now listen to this. He exposes the truth about the Federal Reserve, Rhodes Scholar, Jesuits, Lucius Trust, Masons, Skull and Bones, Rosicrucians, Trilateral Commission, Council on Foreign Relations, Bilderbergers. That's only the start. He also made another DVD with us in 2005 called Planned Population Reduction. Still continues to be, as a matter of fact, all 4 of these still continue to be some of our most popular DVDs. And out of our 300 DVDs we have, that's saying a lot. Could there be an elite group of people with a plan to reduce the world population and see this as a good thing to actually reduce the number of what they call useless eaters? Dr. Stan Monteith exposes the dangers of, get a load of this, Vioxx, artificial fertilizers, pesticides, injections, immunizations, vaccinations, genetically altered seeds, cell phones, diet drinks, soy products, mercury preservatives, MSG, aspartame, fluoridated water, and that's only half of them. A lot more. Now, here's the deal. 4 DVDs, of course, valued $30 each, $120 normally, but today, since it's on the radio, we're making it available for a gift of just $40. Prophecyclub.com. It's called the Immigration Gift Offer. Prophecyclub.com, 785-266-1112. The Immigration Gift Offer, valued at $120 for a gift of just $40 for 2.5-hour professionally produced DVDs chock full of information that you pretty much can't find anyplace else. Now let's go on over and listen to How Illegal Immigration is Destroying America.
And this is substantiated by the INS report given to the House Subcommittee on Immigration, which states that in 1990 there were already 3.5 million aliens in America. So to get from 3.5 million in America in 1990 to 8,000 in 2000, that means there were 400,000 to 500,000 illegal immigrants per year coming into our borders illegally. The INS claims in its report that it gave out 1.5 million green cards in the 1990s. This was not due to any amnesty program. This simply reflects how the legal immigration process embraces and encourages illegal immigration through legal exemptions. And the INS says that they deported 412,000 aliens during the 1990s. That is a pitiful 40,000 a year, or 1 out of 10 that were deported. And most of them came back, my friends. They all come back. Let me tell you the impact of this on America. 95% of all outstanding warrants for homicide in Los Angeles alone in the 1990s were for illegal immigrants. Outstanding warrants for homicide, that's murder. 2/3 of fugitive felony warrants were for illegal aliens. In terms of numbers, the warrants for homicide were 12 to 1,500 in LA alone during the 1990s. 17,000 warrants for fugitive felonies. 17,000. The 18th Street Gang, according to the INS report, the 18th Street Gang was comprised of 60% illegal aliens. The 18th Street Gang collaborates with the Mexican Mafia, which is the dominant force in federal prisons on extortion, drive-by assassinations, and drug trafficking. The 18th Street Gang is responsible for an assault or robbery every day in LA County. 60% of the Columbia Little Psychos Gang is illegal. They use murder and racketeering to control the drug trafficking around LA's MacArthur Park, according to former U.S. Assistant Attorney Louis Lai. The LAPD and the LA City Attorney has issued an injunction against drug trafficking and the 18th Street Gang, which has set up a trafficking ring to bring in illegal aliens from Mexico to do all of their drug pushing for them. So 100% of the non-gang members are illegal aliens. Mass illegal immigration. According to the Free Republic, a conservative news forum, illegal immigration cannot be completely stamped out. Every nation has a limited degree of it. But mass illegal immigration, there's no excuse for it. The reason why we have mass illegal immigration is because U.S. presidents and congressmen want it. There is, year after year, the Congress continues to not support measures that were effective in stemming the flow of illegal immigration. And they continue to not support measures that should be passed, that are believed by sociologists to stop the flow. Let's talk about who determines the rules of society. The 8 to 11 million illegal immigrants in our country today is a sign that our country has lost control of its borders and lost control of who becomes a national community member here. Any nation that loses those abilities has also lost the ability to determine the rules of society. Environmental protections, labor protections, health protections, security issues, and social issues. There's a debate in Congress going on, decade after decade, as to whether or not we should enforce our immigration laws. The debate is between the national community members who believe that America is a self-determined sovereign nation, and those with a post-American vision that believe that you and I should be allowed to compete for jobs with every other worker around the world. Allowed to compete. No wonder we can't find jobs. No wonder there's so much outsourcing. They are controlling our government. The job of the INS is to make sure that those who don't belong here legally are forced to leave. But Roy Beck, the executive director of Numbers USA, he says that the INS is doing nothing at all, to ensure that illegal aliens are forced to leave. He says the word is out around the world that if you can evade Border Patrol coming into America, As long as you don't commit an aggravated felony, then your chances of ever being caught are zero. He says that with an incentive like that, no wonder our borders are overcrowded. I'd like to ask you, who cares? Nobody cares. Politicians don't care. They want the vote. Big business doesn't care. They want cheap labor. Union bosses don't care. They want more membership, more dues, and more clout. Universities don't care. They want more students, more diversity, more grants. And most voters don't care, and most evangelical Christians don't care. They want prosperity, fat pocketbooks, and are quite willing to let George do it. Well, here's what the President said in the last State of the Union address. The aliens here take jobs that we won't take. And I don't believe it. If we're going to blame the aliens on the hijacking, then we need to get them out of here and not condone the felony, because their presence is a felony according to U.S. law. And I'm here to support the U.S. law for the purposes of national security. It's not just a convenience to have them out. There are reasons to have these laws. And we're going to be talking about these reasons. Let's talk about the political reasons why illegal immigration is a problem. Apportionment. The United States is currently experiencing the highest wave of illegal immigration in its history. By the end of the 1990s, 1.5 million illegal immigrants, legal and illegal, were arriving in our country each year. What most Americans don't realize is how immigration is impacting apportionment, the distribution of the seats in the House of Representatives. Apportionment is based on the residents.
We'll be right back after this message. Okay, I have some good news. We're going to extend the archaeology gift offer for one more week. Here's what you get. It's actually 4 discs. You're going to get the 1991 video that I shot when Leslie and I visited Noah's Ark, the crossing side of the Red Sea, all kinds of amazing things on that 2-week tour with Ron Wyatt. That's called Archaeology Confirms the Bible. Then I made one back in 2012 called Noah's Ark Confirms the Bible, and this is explaining a lot of the things that was actually on the first DVD. Then we had Michael Root in to make 2 amazing DVDs. First one called End Times Archaeology, second one called Dead Sea Scrolls. 4 discs, 4 titles, and is normally valued at $80, but we're making it available right now for a gift of just $40. We're going to extend it one more week. It's called the Archaeology Gift Offer at prophecyclub.com or 785-266-1112. Archaeology Gift Offer, prophecyclub.com, 785-266-1112. Last week, get it now. And now, back to the program.
Apportionment is based on the residents of each state. And in the year 2000, there were close to 7 million aliens living in our country, illegal immigrants. Article 1, Section 2 of the United States Constitution mandates that a census be taken every 10 years for the purpose of apportionment, distributing the seats in the House of Representatives. A state's residence is based on everyone who filled out the form during the census or were contacted for an interview during the census, both legal and illegal individuals. All non-citizens are included. The Congress established the number of seats in the House at 435 seats in the year 1911. The concentration of illegal immigrants is impacting the political process. 2/3 of illegal immigrants live in just 6 states. Half of them live in 3 states. And the concentration of illegals is causing many other states to lose their seats. If they were spread out across America, they would have no impact at all. But they are concentrated in few states because their families are there. Their cultural ties are there. Most of us believe that low immigration states are unaffected by illegal immigration, and it's not true. They are, in fact, adversely affected. They are losing their political representation to illegal immigrants in other states. Because of the presence of aliens in other states, in 2000, Indiana, Michigan, Mississippi lost a seat. Montana did not gain a seat that it otherwise would have gained. They did not lose seats because they had a decline in population. They lost seats even though they had an increase of 1.6 million people between the 1990 census and the 2000 census. 3 of the seats went to California alone, where 1 in 7 is an alien. Contrast to the states that lost seats, they've got 1 in 50 is an alien. 1 in 10 in New York, Florida, and Texas are illegal immigrants. 1 in 10. And those states with California have the highest concentration of illegal immigrants. Can the aliens be excluded from the census to solve the problem? It would be a fair idea. It would be politically popular to do so. But to exclude just illegal immigrants rather than all non-citizens would be very difficult. It would be more difficult. The INS, the Census Bureau, and other researchers, they say that though they know how many illegal aliens we have here, they cannot definitively define or point out who the individual illegal immigrants are. And they could ask during the census, but they agree that the aliens would not identify themselves. So, what are the future prospects? As long as there's a concentration of aliens, then the presidential elections will be impacted, because the elections are based on the Electoral College, which is based on congressional delegates. It's based on apportionment. So they will continue to go to key states where their cultural ties are, and they will continue to upset the balance of power in Washington, D.C., so mainstream America will continue to lose their political representation, and it'll impact the political process with presidential elections. You and I are losing our sovereignty behind our backs, whether you realize it or not. We're losing it. And we've got to do something about it. You want more dirty bombs coming across the border because we won't enforce the law? We will not enforce immigration laws? This is a matter of national security, not because we don't like any specific group. There are bombs coming across our borders. We're concerned about nuclear suitcases planted in our cities. And I care to be here to wake up America, to get the word out, because no one's doing it. Where are the prophets are speaking out, but they're being despised by the church. The prophets were stoned in the Old Testament by the religious elite, by their mobs. Who are the religious elite today? Who are the mobs for the religious elite? People sitting in the pews who will shun the prophets and criticize them. Well, we're speaking out, my friends. We're speaking out. I'm among them. And the Prophecy Club is giving a platform to the prophets of America to get the word out, to warn them. America's blood be upon their hands for not listening and doing something about it. We talked about the political issues. Let's talk about the domestic issues. There are 2 attractions to illegals to come to America: jobs and family. One, in the Mexican workers. They earn 1/10 of what their American counterparts earn. We have illegal laborers here because businesses are addicted to cheap labor. They favor exploiting the illegal immigrants. That's why they come. And the government has no process by which to punish businesses who do this. And there's no viable system to determine who's legal and who's illegal out in the fields. There's no way to screen them. Who's to blame? G. Russell Evans, a retired captain from the United States Coast Guard, he wrote in his article, Blame Greed for Runaway Immigration, June 3rd, 2002, He says illegal immigration is causing our country to become a third world nation. And he says it's the politicians' fault because they're greedy for the vote. They don't want to speak out because of immigration populations. They don't want the backlash. They don't care about the long term. They care about their pocketbook. They want the paycheck from the government. So they want back in office. They just love it when all different kinds of illegal immigrants and immigration populations keep on voting for them. Yes, aliens do vote. We'll talk about it. The failure to enforce immigration laws is causing a breakdown in the implementation of our policies. 50 years ago, our policies drove the numbers. Today, the numbers of illegal immigrants and legal immigrants is driving the policies to where the language of the land is blurred and the law is blurred. So you can't distinguish between legal and illegal, and you can't distinguish our national borders anymore. And I'm angry about it. I am angry because I'm an American officer and I care to come and tell you about it. We have to wake up. It's not enough to sit here and let Jesus do it. Faith without works is dead, my friends. Faith, we are so happy and fat, sitting on our sofas, eating apple pie, while we're losing our sovereignty behind our backs. Our forefathers fought for this land with their blood. Do we think it's now solved for all eternity? We can sit by and do nothing now? There is a deception in the land today, and people behind the scenes working for our government, some of them are doing this. Notice I did not put down the government because I hold up the government of the United States. I'm talking about wolves in sheep clothing. I'm talking about people who don't do what you voted them to do. Thank you. Now let's talk about national security. This is the issue. As an officer, I'm concerned about national security. But again, I'm talking from my personal perspectives, from what I know. Let us assume that what you heard politicians say about 911 is true. That there were aliens, and they flew some of our airplanes into the Pentagon and the World Trade Towers. Let us assume that they really did this. Rookies! They never flew anything before in their lives. They flew jumbo jets perfectly into our World Trade Towers. They missed the big steel beams that would have cut off the wings of the aircraft. They got them in perfectly. One try and they did not fail. And somehow, one of them squeezed a jumbo jet into a 2.5 yard wide hole. Let's say they did it, okay? Using the government statistics, 3 of the hijackers were visa overstayers. Now, do you get the picture why we need to enforce our immigration laws and our visa laws? If they're going to blame the aliens, let's fix the problem so they have no excuse. And not let's justify their presence here because we won't work. We were built on the work ethic, my friends. Our work ethic made America strong. You and I do work, and that's why America is strong like it is today, because we work. We're not lazy. Okay? Americans work. So there's no reason why we need aliens doing our work for us. We'll talk more about that. 7 of the 19 hijackers received fraudulent ID cards from illegal day laborers in Virginia. 2 of the 1993 World Trade Center bombers were aliens. At least one was an Al-Qaeda-linked operative who received amnesty intended for alien farm workers. 115,000 Middle Easterners are in America today illegally. They're aliens. 1,000 of them were smuggled across the Mexico-U.S. border by criminal global ringleader George Tahirian. So it's not just the natives of Mexico I'm talking about. Anybody can come across the Mexico-U.S. border. I've done missionary work to Mexico. I love Mexicans. So it's not about whether or not we love Mexicans. It's about national security. That's what it's about. I taught bilingual education in Los Angeles. I taught beautiful, wonderful Mexican children and English, Caucasian ones in the same classroom, blacks, in Spanish and English. I love Mexicans. Jesus loves Mexicans. So it's not about that. And by the way, the Mexican food is wonderful. I can live on it. It's good. God created Mexican food. Thank you. 6,000 Middle Eastern men are on the loose in America who are here illegally. They've defied deportation orders. 6,000 Middle Easterners defied deportation orders. We don't know where they are or what they have. When they come across the borders, we don't know what they're bringing in. Because they're not made to take their shoes off when they step across the border. They don't have to take their belt off or their coat. They don't have to walk through an x-ray machine. So why are we doing this in our airports? That's not where they are, my friend. Do you know what my personal hypothesis is? In the airports, that's to get our minds to think, to brainwash us, to think that the problem's among us. We are the culprits, my friends. That's what I think the agenda is. Get our minds on what we have to do to correct our problem, while no one's giving a rip about the border. In fact, it's justified to leave them borderless and open because we won't work. Hispanic radicals. Art Moore says in his book, Illegal Immigration Fueling the Aims of Secession, he says there's a dream among Hispanics to retake the Southwest.
I'm going to interrupt right there, but I'm going to encourage you to get these 4 DVDs valued at $120 for a gift of just $40. I'm going to give you one line per DVD explaining it. How illegal immigration is destroying America. He exposes how satanic forces in the U.S. government are actually allowing illegal immigration, giving access to terrorists to invade America, and a lot more. How world bankers are destroying America by forming a global bank to control all kinds of things. Of course, we know eventually go to the mark of the beast, talking a lot about the Federal Reserve. Then Secrets of the Illuminati, Dr. Stan Monteith, radio program he did for 5 hours every day for years, 37 years. He talks about things like Trilateral Commission, Council on Foreign Relations, Bilderbergers, and a lot more. Planned population reduction. What's wrong with things like DDT, created diseases, milk additives, processes, MTBE, Splenda, and that's just scratching the surface. 4 DVDs valued at $120 for a gift of $40 at prophecyclub.com or 785-266-1112. It's the immigration gift offer. This week, 785-266-1112 or prophecyclub.com. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your prayers, and thank you for your gifts of support. That's what really keeps us going. Now from the Prophecy Club, some exciting opportunities for you. Okay, I have some good news. We're going to extend the archaeology gift offer for one more week. Here's what you get. It's actually 4 discs. You're going to get the 1991 video that I shot when Leslie and I visited Noah's Ark, the crossing side of the Red Sea, all kinds of amazing things on that 2-week tour with Ron Wyatt. That's called Archaeology Confirms the Bible. Then I made one back in 2012 called Noah's Ark Confirms the Bible, and this is explaining a lot of the things that was actually on the first DVD. Then we had Michael Root in to make 2 amazing DVDs. First one called End Times Archaeology. Second one called Dead Sea Scrolls. 4 discs, 4 titles, and is normally valued at $80, but we're making it available right now for a gift of just $40. We're going to extend it one more week. It's called the Archaeology Gift Offer at prophecyclub.com or 785-266-1112. Archaeology Gift Offer, prophecyclub.com, 785-266-1112. Last week, get it now.